Have you ever looked at your investment profits and just wished there was a smart legal way to keep more of them? Well, there is. It's a strategy called tax harvesting. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can use it to give your returns a nice little boost.
It's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? You work hard for your money, you invest it wisely, you see those gains, and then you watch a chunk of it disappear to taxes. But what if I told you there's a strategic and totally legal way to shrink that tax bias?
All right, so before we jump into the solution, let's get on the same page about the problem. For every single investor out there, making a profit means you're likely looking at a tax bill.
That's right. It's just a fundamental part of investing. When you sell something for more than you bought it for, that's a capital gain, and it's taxable. Now, you can't avoid taxes altogether, but the final amount you pay, well, that's not necessarily set in stone. The secret is to manage it, and that's exactly where our main topic comes in. So let's pull back the curtain and meet the hero of our story, a really powerful strategy called tax harvesting. So what in the world is it? Think of it like this. Tax harvesting is where you purposefully sell some of your investments at just the right time. You might sell something to book a loss, or you might sell something to lock in a gain that's tax-free. The key word here is strategically. It's all about making these moves within the financial year to lower your overall tax bill without messing up your long-term investment plan.
And really, the whole point is incredibly simple, just like you see here. You start with your portfolio, you apply a layer of smart tax planning, and the end result is you get to keep more of your money. It's not about earning more, it's about keeping more. It's about making your money work smarter, not just harder.
Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Tax harvesting really comes in two main flavors.
So on one side, you've got tax loss harvesting. This is where you actually use an investment that's down in value to your advantage. That loss can basically cancel out a gain you made somewhere else, and poof, the tax on that gain disappears. On the other side, you have tax gain harvesting. This is all about cleverly using the government's tax-free allowance to your benefit. Let's dig into each of these. First up, tax loss harvesting. And I know, selling something at a loss sounds kind of crazy, right? Why would you want to do that? Well, stick with me, because this is how you can turn a temporary dip in the market into a real, tangible tax saving. Here's how it plays out, step by step. You sell a fund that's in the red to make that loss real on paper. Then you take that loss and use it to offset a gain you have somewhere else in your portfolio. That directly lowers your tax bill. But this last step, oh man, it's absolutely critical. You have to reinvest that money right away to make sure you don't miss out when the market bounces back. Okay, so that's the plan for when some of your investments are down. But what about the good times? What happens when your portfolio is doing great and everything's in the green? Well, that's where tax gain harvesting becomes your best friend. This is a real game changer. See, in India, you get a tax-free allowance on a certain amount of long-term gains from equity each year. Let's use 1.25 lakh for our example. You simply sell enough of a winning fund to book exactly that much in gains. On that amount, you pay zero tax. Then, and here's the magic trick, you immediately buy it back. What you've just done is reset your purchase price to a new, higher level. That means your future taxable gains will be much, much smaller. It's brilliant.
But, of course, like any good strategy, you've got to know the rules of the game. And when it comes to taxes in India, the rules for capital gains and losses are very, very specific.
Let's break this down, because the details really matter here. First, how long you hold an investment is key. For equity funds, if you sell within a year, it's a short-term gain and it's fully taxable. Hold it for more than a year, now it's long-term and you get that tax-free exemption. Now for losses. Think of a short-term loss as your super flexible tool. You can use it against both short and long-term gains. A long-term loss, though, is more specialized. It can only be used against long-term gains. And the good news, if you have losses you can't use this year, you can carry them forward for up to 8 years.
Okay, theory's over. Let's get practical. You get the concepts, but how do you actually do this stuff? Here's a quick checklist to get you on your way.
You know, this isn't a one-and-done thing. It's more like a yearly financial health checkup. You have to keep an eye on your portfolio all year long, not just in a panic in late March. Figure out your opportunities way before the deadline. Make the trades and, I'm going to say it again, reinvest immediately so you don't mess up your overall plan. And of course, keep good records. Your accountant will thank you.
But hold on. Before you dive in, a few really important things to keep in mind. First, always watch that holding period. Second, think about transaction costs.
Things like exit loads can sometimes eat into your tax savings. Also, be mindful of something called a wash sale. That's when you sell and buy back a fund almost instantly just for the tax loss. While India doesn't have a strict rule, doing it too much might get you some unwanted attention. And most importantly, tax laws can and do change, so talking to a professional is always a smart move.
So, we've covered the what, the why, and the how. The big question left is this actually for you? Is it a good fit for your specific situation?
This strategy really shines for a few types of investors. If you're a long-term equity investor, it's perfect. If you invest through SIPs, you'll have lots of different purchase prices, which creates great opportunities for harvesting. It's also super powerful for people in the higher tax brackets because, well, the savings are just bigger. And it goes without saying, if you've got a large portfolio with some chunky capital gains, this strategy is pretty much a must-have.
And that really brings us to the single most important thing to remember from all of this. Let's just boil it all down to this one idea. Tax harvesting is not about trying to time the market. It's about timing your taxes. You're not trying to be a psychic and predict what the market will do next. You're just being smart and proactive with the tax calendar. So the final question is this: are you going to let taxes just happen to you, or are you going to start making your taxes work for you?